Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to name the angles, all the angles that have V as a vertex. Okay, so we're going to name all of the angles that we have here where V is the vertex of the angle. So when I'm looking at these angles, let's look first at, we've got the vertex, and let's look at each angle individually. So I'm going to use colors. The first angle I have is this angle right here, and that would be angle JVI. Now, what's another way you can name that? Angle IVJ. Remember, the vertex has to be the center letter. But we've also got a number in there. We've got a 5 in there. So I can also call that angle 5. So that particular angle has 3 different names. Now, it's not asking you for all the names, but just for your reference, you know that you could name this one angle 3 different ways. So let's look at the next angle. I have this angle here, the angle in red. And this could be angle HVI. It could be angle IVH. Or there's a number in there. You could call it angle 6. So those are 3 names for that one. And the last one that we're going to look at is the big angle, which is this one right here. So we've got, it could be angle HVJ, or you could call it angle JVH, or you can call it nothing else, because this has got a full sweep here of 2 angles. We can't call it a number. There is no number on the inside, so that's it. Now, one of the questions is, why didn't I use this one? And don't write this down, but why didn't I just say angle V for any of these? When we name an angle based on a vertex, you have to be able to determine which angle we're talking about. If I say angle V and give you this picture, you don't know whether I'm talking about this angle, or this angle, because these are all angle V. So when you have multiple angles that are connected like this, in this case we have adjacent angles, you can't use the vertex name only because that does not specify which particular angle you're talking about. Angle V could refer to 3 different angles, so that is not specific enough. So let's look at number 14. If I look at number 14, I'm going to look at these, and now I'm only going to name them with the one name. So this is my first angle. So I've got 3 different options for this one, or actually 2 different options for this one. That's the big one. So I'm just going to call it angle FVD. Now I could have called it angle DVF. I can't call it angle V because angle V doesn't designate which angles I'm looking at, because there's 3 different angles that have vertex V. So let's look at the second angle here. This could be angle EVD, or if you want to call it DVE, you can. Or it could be angle 2. So, and I'll go ahead and just give you all the angle names. I'm deciding now to do it because it'll make it easier for you. Angle 2. So let's go back and put the other ones. Just trying to make it as simple as possible so when you see the notes you understand. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Now I've got the other small angle. So I'm going to look at this one here. Right here. Here to here. This would be angle EVF, or we could call it angle FVE, or we could call it angle 3. So those are all the different angles. Again, we can't say anything based on just a single vertex because it's not specific enough. Okay, so then I'm going to look at, from there I want you to actually work on 15 and 16 and see if you can actually figure those out. So let's go to number 17. Sorry, 17 and 18, 19, and 20. These are the same as the ones above. Actually, 17 is exactly the same. But now you've got 18, 19, and 20 where we have 3 angles that are together. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult if you can't identify the angles, but it's the same principle. It's the same properties. So let's look at the big one first. We've got the big angle here. That's going to be angle That's going to be angle FVI or angle IVF. That's how we name the big one. All right, so let's look at the smaller ones now. I'm going to look at this one here. And this is angle FVG or angle GVF, or angle 4, because it's right there. You can see the angle 4. And again, you're not going to be required to show all these names. I'm just doing this so that you can see that how you can name them multiple ways. So now let's look at this one. This one here can be angle GVH, or it can be angle HVG, or it can be angle 3. So keep on moving. Let's look at the last smaller one. So we can name this one here. This can be angle IVH, or it can be angle HVI, or it can be angle 2. Now, unlike the other ones, we're not done here. There are 2 other angles that we can classify here. So if I'm looking at these 2 other angles, this is what I see. I can have this angle here. See this angle here that's a combination of the 2 others? There's no numeric value for this one, but I can name it with the letters, the 3-letter name. So I can go angle FVH, which is the same as angle HVF. And you can probably see it now. We've got another angle we can name. So I can name this one from here to here. And this could be angle GVI or angle IVG. So you can see how you would name all of these angles in a situation like this. Now, instead of just having the 3 angles present like we do here, 1, 2, and then 3, you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles. You've got the 3 small ones, the large one, and then 2 other small ones that are within this one. And we're going to talk about adjacent angles in vocabulary at some point, and you'll see what those are. All right, so let's look at the last section here. I know it's a little bit out of the frame with the video. So let's look at number 21. That's this one right here. On number 21, it says state the given point is in the interior, exterior, or on the angle. So we'll do interior, exterior, or on the angle. So let's look for the interior points. Interior is exactly the way it sounds. It means on the inside. So when we have angles like this, we're looking for points that are on the interior. So 25, point P is in the interior. You can see it. It's inside the angle. 22, point P is in the interior. It's inside the angle. Those are the only 2 interiors I have. You can see on the interior. Interior means on the inside. So the exterior ones are the points on the outside. So number 21 would be exterior. That point is outside the angle. 23 is also exterior. That point is outside the angle. 26 is also exterior. This point P is outside the angle. So the next one, last one we're going to look at is what's on the angle, and that's here, P. This is on the angle. So points are either on the interior or the exterior. To kind of give you an example, I'll draw a picture here. Let's draw a random angle. And M, S, N, P, Q. All right. Okay. So let's classify these based on what we just talked about. All right, the first one, let's look at interior. If I'm looking at this angle right here, M, N, and S are all in the interior. Does that make sense? They're all in the interior. Okay, let's look at the exterior. Again, the black angle is what I'm looking at. P and Q are in the exterior. And then point R is considered on the angle. So that maybe that'll give you a little bit of a